Yeah, another analogy is in the water detection industry. Leaks are very pervasive. They can cause a lot of damage, and having sensors that detect a leak ahead of time can save a lot of cost and damage from happening in the first place.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, this is one industry too that in prop tech, a lot of things are about increasing revenues and buying things efficiently and operating them, and this falls under the operating them. And something people easily forget. Many people don't even know that solutions exist. In fact, most management companies in the hotels at Bluefield Capital, which is where I'm a general partner and we buy real estate throughout the US, we just have contracts with vendors who come and routinely just do checks. And that itself is a recurring revenue stream if you're a pest control service company.
Yeah, sure.
You come and you've got a contract with a Marriott or Hilton. We have a lot of Marriotts and Hiltons, that's why I use that analogy. And vendors will come and they'll do a regular check. Now, also within the industry, there's other treatments too, right? Before we dive into exactly how the Valpas treatment works, people can vacuum. There's even dogs, I've heard, right, that can sense bed bugs. There's steam treatments. There's also what you would think would be a sustainable solution is just have some protection on your mattress, have some liners. What are your thoughts on all the different options out there? And then when you talk through that, contrast to us what a prop tech solution like Valpas offers versus some of the other solutions that exist in the industry.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, 90% of the traditional industry's revenues comes from reactive treatments. So just reacting after the problem has already occurred, the losses have already occurred, the negative experience has already occurred. And then maybe 10% of the industry's revenues focus in some sort of detection means. And there's really two of them. The first one and the traditional one is humans or canine detection. So basically having a pest control professional with or without a dog visiting rooms every quarter, let's say, and going through all the rooms. And if there would be any bed bugs during that specific day of the visit, they might or might not detect them, and then after that, order a treatment. So this is the first one in the kind of detective means. And the second one is these first startups and other kind of more technology-driven companies that have developed these sort of detectors that you can put in a room to test if the room has a bed bug somewhere around there. And by the way, the reason why this is also hard is because bed bugs, once they get into a room, they quickly attack guests, suck their blood, then nest in the bed or in the vicinity of the bed, and then quickly reproduce and spread. And they only come out during the nighttime normally, because that's when their blood meal is at its easiest. So at sleep, put stay put in the same place so it's easy access for them. So that's why during the daytime you can't really see them, they're hiding. And that's why it's so hard to detect them. But anyways, there are these first kind of detector devices that you can put in the room, and then they simulate the CO2 that comes from the sleeping guest's exhale. And that then, if there are any bugs in the room, they sense the CO2 and then go to the device, and then the device can detect if there are bed bugs in the room. And then after that, you need to also call a treatment then. So, and you can't have these detection devices in each room because they're normally pretty obtrusive. So there's really nothing out there that would keep rooms and guests protected around the clock. So there is no safety out there. And this is really the vacuum that Valpas is filling and introducing a bed bug safety standard for the hospitality industry.
You know, if you look at prop tech and you look at solutions in prop tech, one way to figure out an opportunity is to look through the operating statements and look at the costs and realize, like, it's so easy to glance over a cost like pest control, right? And think, okay, yeah, that there's a process for that, it works. But to really unleash innovation and realize gains in your portfolio, you've got to look at every line, including something like a pest control, and realize, okay, is there a solution we can bring in here to decrease our cost and also improve the quality of what we're offering, especially if you're in multifamily rentals or you're in the hospitality sector. This is also another problem you outline, which is the audit problem. The problem with an audit is it's a manual process, and it only happens once every now and then. And it's sort of like looking at the balance sheet of a company at one point in time. Many financial companies can play games with their balance sheet. They may pay down debt, they may take out debt or whatever to sort of make things look good. If you're looking at a statement at one point in time, even if you're looking at your own weight, for people trying to lose weight or gain muscle, looking at your own weight at one point in time doesn't give you a full picture. And
yeah, that's absolutely right.
Exactly, and a lot can happen before and after as well. So one thing I'm sure people are wondering is, well, the pandemic has hit, the hospitality industry hasn't seen, and by the way, this is not true. The hospitality industry is actually thriving in many places. Many people wanted to get out of their homes and into hotels and Airbnbs, but the perception is, well, these bed bugs haven't had a blood meal. Sorry to use such a term, I know it's an industry term, but a blood meal, right? They haven't had a chance to feast. They're going to die, right? Surely that's the perception. And surely people will think that's the reality, like this problem is solved. If there aren't guests in the hotel, then the bed bugs are dead. Tell us what the reality is.
Yeah, unfortunately, the reality is that bed bugs can cope without a fresh blood meal, even 1.5 years, 2 years, or further. So they're super resilient, and they're just hibernating inside the real estate. And then once people start occupying them again, hotels without adequate standards will experience quite ferocious service failures, unfortunately. So yeah, they can go on for years without food.
How do bed bugs, are they like mosquitoes where they'll bite you enough until they're full and then they'll leave? Or are they such that they will just keep biting you and biting you and biting you and then multiplying and multiplying? And do they multiply when there's no food around? Or do they only multiply after they've been satiated?
Yeah. So maybe actually just kind of telling the kind of bed bugs behavior, which is important then once we get to Valpas. But so as I mentioned, it's impossible to kind of avoid getting them from your travels. You can pick them up from your airplane, a taxi, public transport, whatever. And there's only a few in the beginning. And this is actually something that many people don't understand, because when you speak about bed bugs to people, what they see is that infestation, already that developed problem in a room, which is completely normal because that's when you recognize them only today. However, they actually start really harmless because only a few bed bugs tag along your belongings and then hitchhike into a hotel room or your apartment. Now, bed bugs, they do have one weakness, and their weakness is that once they are in a bedroom, they have this urge to attack sleeping guests because they are lazy creatures and they're just looking for that blood meal. So once they sense that CO2 is coming from a stable source, once we go to bed, stay put, start exhaling. That's kind of a social cue for them that, hey, now there's blood available, let's get out. And so this weakness that bed bugs have, that they just have to attack guests and have to collect that blood during the first night already. We actually then capitalize it by collecting them and eliminating them before they are able to collect that blood and before